Good morning and welcome to the fifth quarter AZ. I'm your host today, Tyrone Johnson. My co-host and the actual host, Danny Neal, he's not in today. But we have our guest host. Hopefully, will be able to connect with us and get on and join Mr. Flag Coco himself. And so today we're going to get into it. We got fall sports coming up. And so this is an exciting time of the year always, the start of everything for the school year. I know for us in winter sports, as soon as games and meets and everything start, it really signifies that our season is up on deck because it seems that things go so fast once fall sports start. And so today we're just gonna get into it. We're gonna talk with a coach that just came off state championship as far as this last year, and then just has a solid program. And so we'll definitely enjoy our time and spend some moments just talking and picking her brain. Because again, as y'all know, I'm still chasing championships, so I love talking with coaches that are at the mountaintop, that have won it, to see what they do, to see personally how I can get better, and then just really be a fan of their work and what they're doing. We also would like to ask you that if you're enjoying these shows, please subscribe, share the word so we can get it out. We want to be able to cover just sports in general in Northern Arizona, whether it's youth, whether it's up to high school, but be sure that you hit the subscribe button and then just invite people to watch the show. Um, so typically we'll have our morning banner and everything, but right now we may still be having some technical difficulties. Russell, are you in yet?
Uh, I'm here. Can you hear anything at all?
I can hear you. I can hear you. So we can't see you, but we can hear you.
I
So tell me this time of year, Russell, what's the most exciting thing for you?
well, today's a pretty busy day around town. My big thing today is heading out to the Flagstaff Sports Foundation's Hall of Fame banquet, which starts, I think, at 5 o'clock out in Twin Arrows.
Yep, doors
But
open at
also,
5:30 today.
our
Then you have, your social hour. Dinner starts at 6:30. Program starts at 7. So that's definitely going to be a fun time and just a great time inducting honorees from the class of 2020, well deserving. And so that'll definitely be good. How about just in terms of fall sports? What are you most excited about coming up?
well, today is Coconino football's scrimmage against Snowflake. It starts at 6 o'clock at Cromer Stadium. The thing that excites me is that it's going to be sort of a dress rehearsal for CAF Sports Network. Dave Zorn and our friend Bubba Ganner have been working their tails off the last few months to put together video to go along with the audio. And they've got their own kind of scrimmage today to get themselves ready for the kickoff classic next week at the Sky Dome. That's exciting me because that's going to involve every sport. That's going to, put audio and video into every device in town. Uh, it'll involve you'll have to subscribe to the NFHS network. But if this is something that you go to 2 or 3 games a month, or 7 games a month, it'll be worth it. If you're like me and you go to games all over the state and here in Phoenix and especially in Flagstaff, it'll be worth the money, I think. I'm confident they'll put quality product on, and
We might have lost Russell.
Going.
oh, I
So
anyway, I think the Cast Sports Network is going to be a game changer. I think it's going to be something that the entire town can embrace and be part of, and we'll be able to be part of it.
yeah, no, that's definitely exciting. Some exciting things coming down the pipe this school year in terms of like I say, the Fox Sports Network. Also, as we go into winter sports and basketball, I know we're going to have a shot clock at some point in the season, and we go to the open division. So a lot of good things, a lot of exciting things coming up this school year. And right now we have an exciting guest. And Russell, can you, if you would you go ahead and do the honors and introduce our guest for today?
Okay. We'll be talking to the head coach of the reigning Division III state champion girls cross country team and our Coconino boys cross country team. This is Shannon Taylor.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing great. How about yourself this morning?
Oh, it's a beautiful Friday for us.
Yes, it is. Yes, indeed. We definitely appreciate you taking the time to come and join us this morning. Looking forward to just chopping it up a little bit. All we do, we just talk, just have a little conversation, and no real set agenda, anything like that. So wherever the conversation go, we'll just follow. So could you briefly tell us about yourself, how you got into coaching, and a little bit about your program?
Yeah, definitely. So I was pretty much born into a running family. My dad ran for Coconino High School back in the 70s. Both my parents are Coco alum from 71 and 72. And my dad's been running since he was like 4 or 5, chasing sheep. And so it's very much a cultural and family thing for us to be runners. And I ran in high school. My sister ran, my son ran. I mean, we just love and live and breathe running. And so I had the privilege of just seeing my dad be a coach, because my dad was actually my coach in high school. So he coached here at Coconino High School for over 20 years. And I actually started getting to coach when my son was a freshman. I volunteered for 2 years at Coconino High School, and then I took over the program after he graduated, or when he was a junior, sorry. And so like I've just been able to watch my dad do all the amazing things that he's done. He's had a boys team back in 01 be runner-up, and they lost by 1 point at state. And so just to see his excitement to be a coach, to be a runner himself, and do such amazing things. And then my sister was also a coach too, back in the early 2000s. So it's very much a family thing right now for us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, you mentioned losing by 1 point. Some people, such as myself, may not necessarily know how cross country is scored. You know, basketball, you look at the score, and whoever has the most points is the winner. Mm-hmm. Cross country, you look at the score, and I believe it's the least amount of time, obviously, but then they have a point system to go with it. So how does all that work?
Yeah, so it's the 5 runners, usually it's 7 runners are on a varsity squad, but top 5 score. And if there's a tie, when you add up all of the low scores from 1 through 5, then they go to 6th runner. And that actually happened to our boys last year at state. We went down to the 6th man and broke a tie for 9th and 10th place. And so our boys came in 9th place because our 6th runner was faster than the other team's 6th runner.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Being at 7,000 feet, is that the secret to success?
I think it's definitely a big secret, but I think it's also the culture that you create of your team. Like for me, I'm very much a family-oriented kind of coach. Like I see my athletes as my own kids. Mm-hmm. I care for them on and off the track after they graduate high school. Like I go to their weddings, I go to their graduations, and I'm building them up. I'm helping them get into college and just live an amazing life that like I feel like as a mom, I hope that I can bring that to all of my athletes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think culture is one of the most important factors for a successful program, especially year in and year out. If you get a talented group, maybe 1 year you can do just amazing things, but if you don't have that culture, you can't necessarily sustain that. And so, yeah, I definitely appreciate that. Russell, what do you have?
Well, I know that the girls team, they were runners up 3 out of the last 5 years before you finally got over the hump and won the title last year. What did it take for for last year's team to finally get over the hump, and probably more importantly, what's it going to take for this year to repeat?
Yeah. So we were close for so many years. Before we got the championship last year, the year before that, we lost by 3 points to South Point Catholic. And then a couple years before that, we lost to Ganado by 5 points. And a couple years before that, we lost by 2 points. So we've always been so close to getting on the podium with the championship title that these girls knew that they had it in them. Like these girls have been running since their freshman year with us. And I think just building that confidence in them and letting them know like they are so capable and letting them believe and know truly and deeply like how gifted and how talented they are, because we practice pack running, leading each other, taking turns, pulling each other along. Like that was a big thing, is taking my senior Acacia and Wheaton and helping them to get the girls to run together and just push each other. Like when they'd see someone like fall a little bit behind, a couple of steps back, they'd be like, come on, let's go, let's go. So they were constantly encouraging and leading each other. So that's very much what helped us to win state, and just having that belief. I mean, that mental mindset of like, we can do this. We are tough, we're strong, we're capable. We've been wanting this for years, and doing summer practice, that commitment is huge. So, and then for this coming season, we're actually moving up to D2. So we're moving up a division. Last year we were D3, so now we're in the same conference as Flag High. And so just trying to figure out the different competition. These are schools that we normally don't ever compete against. Like we only compete against Flag High at Peaks Invitational and City Meet. So just trying to figure out where we fall, especially after we have our first couple of meets, and just fine tuning everything that we can. But we definitely have the depth. We're returning 6 of the 7 girls from last year, because we only lost 1 senior on that varsity squad. So everybody's returning. Like I said, we have Smith, who's an amazing runner, just like the whole Smith family. She has a younger sister who's now a sophomore. And we have Zoe and Sophia, who are seniors also. So, I mean, we have a lot of depth on the girls squad.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, last year you had a lot of underclassmen and you won the championship. I don't know if that may have been a liability of a lack of experience last year, but this year you're going to have a wealth of experience.
Yeah.
How does that experience translate into a running sport?
Yeah, so just having that experience and that knowledge of like, even knowing the course is vital, because like they know like where the hills are, where to push themselves, where they need to be together. So we actually like to walk courses, especially at state and sectionals, so that we know where the technical parts are, where we can push each other along and help each other along. So it's very much a mental team kind of game that we play with each other, and it's encouraging. And so like as coaches, we're actually putting in miles too, running from spot to spot. And like on meet days, I'm putting in like 10, 12 miles, because I'm running from mile 1, mile 2, and my assistant coaches. So we all break it up so that we're telling the kids like, okay, this is that hill, attack that hill, push into that hill. And so and then we also like to bring in our whole entire team for sectionals into state. And so we have our JV squad out there cheering on the kids. So having that momentum, seeing their fellow teammates pushing each other, that's huge.
Coach, how do you establish the camaraderie of the team? Do you do special things outside of, say, your normal practice and pack runs and different situations? Do you do team bondings? I mean, how do you really develop that camaraderie, that chemistry, that trust, that belief that the players have not only in you, but in each other?
Yeah, so we start running in June. We take a week off after graduation and we roll right into summer practices, and we meet 3 times a week. And at the end of the summer, we actually get to go to Camp Colton, and we camp out for 3 days, 2 nights. And we go on some runs, but it's a lot of like campfire time, letting the seniors talk to the freshmen, letting them be able to talk about their experiences as an upperclassman, letting them like hear their stories of like how they've struggled with running or how they've had success with running and how it's helped them to be a better student athlete. And it's just a time where we can unwind, and we're playing volleyball and we're playing spike ball and playing with hula hoops and just having fun and letting our guard down, putting our phones away, and just bringing in guest speakers. And I think team camp really helps to set the stage for the season, and just doing different kind of activities like that. Like we spend a lot of time together, and we get to go to California this school year, out to Woodbridge mid-September, and that's a fun event where we get to go on some college campus tours. Some of these kids have never been on a campus tour for college, so I get to let them experience what it's like that's a possibility. You guys are runners, you guys can run D1, D2, D3, NAIA, and give them that hope. So just a lot of little things like that. And then I actually work in the school. I'm in the counseling department. I'm the Native American academic advisor. And so I'm very visible here at Coconino High School. I have an open door policy. So I have kids coming in constantly like, hey coach, I need a snack. Hey coach, I need a pencil, like those kind of things, simple things. Or, hey coach, I'm having a rough day. Can I sit and talk? Of course. So I make myself very available to my kids.
Yeah, that's awesome right there. And you can tell that, the way that they come out and run for you, that they really appreciate that, your presence and just everything that you're doing. So look, I'm over here taking notes. I got some work to do.
I had a good mentor. My dad was an amazing mentor, and he's actually my assistant coach right now. And my son graduated in 2019, and he's been helping since he graduated. So it's very much a 3-generational family of coaches.
That's real cool. I mean, you got the wisdom in your dad, you got, the work in you, and you got, somebody that can relate with the kids in your son. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Russell, what you got now?
I checked the roster before I checked her rosters before I started writing questions down, and I saw a couple of names that are going to be playing basketball as well. Memphis James and Lorelei Tesmer. And I was wondering, how does that multiple crossover athletics, athletes doing more than one sport, how does that translate into success with cross country, and vice versa? How does multiple sports in cross country help out with basketball or anything else these athletes play?
Yeah, I highly encourage all of my athletes to be multi-sport athletes. So, they get the conditioning, the endurance from cross country and summer running, and then they roll into basketball, having that extra base, being able to translate that onto the basketball court. And I really encourage then students, if they don't go out for winter sports, to do summer training with us, so then we can roll right into track and field. But the ability for athletes to do multi-sports just means that they're have different muscles developed. They have that different coaching that they have behind them, because I coach differently from a football player and a wrestling coach and a volleyball coach. So just having that different perspective and learning from all the different coaching styles really helps them in just their ability to be able to handle that workload and take little bits and pieces from every sport, really fine tunes and makes these kids a better athlete and overall student too. So I do coach track and field too. So I'm constantly trying to encourage kids, take a little bit break after fall sports or after winter, and then come right into track. Track is a whole different beast compared to cross country. We have so many different events, so many event coaches. I mean, we have kids I think about Wheaton and Wyland Smith, they run cross country for me, but track season, they don't run distance. The farthest they go is an 800. They're hurdlers. They're, trying to do long jump and, doing the 4, the 8s. And so they're doing different things. So, Lorelei Tesmer, this is her first year coming out for cross country. And just to have her come out, she's a basketball player, she is a triple jumper, high jumper to come track season. So the fact that she's I kind of want to do cross country, it scares me, but just having that excitement in her of I'm going to try it. And that's the nice thing about cross country is you can join it your senior year, and I will work with them and I'll help them to be the best runner that they can be.
That's nice there.
We talk so much about the girls and their success.
Yeah, so the boys, I love track and field and cross country because it's co-ed. we work with boys and girls. So I don't separate my boys and my girls. I have them trained together. The boys might do more intensity, more reps than the girls, but like we really try to keep the group together. My boys cross country team is a really young squad last year. I had 2 seniors and the rest were underclassmen, and I'm bringing the majority of them back. And our number 1 runner, Nick Wolf, I mean, he has really grown a lot from his sophomore to junior year, and he's leaps and bounds from when he first started. And he started as a track athlete for me his freshman year.
So, Coach, you mentioned earlier that you guys are transitioning from D3 to D2. Now, when that happens, is it because of the success that your program has had, why you have to go to D2, or is it because of school population size? And then with that, what meet are you looking forward to the most at this point?
Yeah, so it's based off of school population. Our current sophomore class is huge, and then our freshman class got even bigger. So it's based off of enrollment. I think we have maybe like 200 to 300 more students here now. So it's based off of population. But the one meet that I'm really looking forward to is Woodbridge, and that's in California. The kids, running at 7,000 feet, we just have a harder time running faster times here in Flagstaff. So when we go down in elevation, we naturally just run faster. That's why it's easier to breathe for the athletes. Our legs aren't as heavy. So when we go to California in the middle of September, we're at sea level. There's a ton of oxygen, and it's a fast, flat soccer course. And I mean, the kids are going to be running 16 minutes versus 18, 19 minutes here at elevation. So they're going to be shocked at how fast they can run.
And will they see is it a regional only, or is it national? Will they see runners from all over the country, or just here in West or Southwest?
It's the biggest meet on the West Coast. So it's hundreds of teams, and it's a 2-day meet, and we're competing on Thursday. And then there's the sweepstakes championship on Friday, but we're going to do 4 corners also on Saturday for the athletes, because we can only take a certain number of kids because we're driving minibuses. So we're going to take part of the team to California, and the other part of the team is going to stay here in Flagstaff.
Okay.
Yeah. But besides the Woodbridge event, we have Desert Twilight, which is down in Phoenix. And there's a new course this year. And that one, we have schools from Texas and Colorado coming down. And that's a really fast course also. And that one is towards the end of September.
Okay, nice, yeah. Nice.
But you're starting your year August 30th at the Hopi Invitational. And I believe it's September 3rd, you've got the Peaks Invitational?
Yes, yeah. So our first meet is next Tuesday. We're really excited for that because Hopi's run a little bit differently. They don't separate by varsity and JV and freshman. It's all the girls run together, and then all the boys run together. And it's a good place for me to see where the athletes are. Just running all the girls together, like we can do time trials, but to actually put them in a race with other teams. And Hopi is a really technically challenging course because it's all sand. That's the kids are like, oh, we're gonna die at Hopi. It's so tough because it's just sand and hills, and it's hard as a runner. If you've ever run in washes, these kids are like, oh, it's so tough, but just they won it last year. The girls won it last year, and the boys did really well too. So it's a good course to kind of get under them so that they have that experience coming to Peaks. And Peaks is a really high intense meet. We are both going to be doing the summit for our boys and girls varsity, which is the tougher of the meets at Peaks. And so it gives them a little bit more experience come Saturday.
So Coach,
and by the time you get to
go ahead, Russell.
By the time you get to sectionals and then to,
Go ahead.
By the time you get to sectionals and state, okay. By the time you get to sectionals and finals at state, you're going to be going right against flag high and they've been in dynasty mode for well over a decade. You think Wheaton and Zoe are going to be able to keep up with Mia Hall?
Yeah, I mean, we get along really well with Flag High, Coach Painter. We have a really good relationship with them. We are constantly encouraging each other, and whatever happens at sectionals and state, we are going to be there encouraging each other, encouraging each other's athletes, and just, putting it all out there. I mean, that's the best we can do, and just get our athletes fine-tuned for those two really important meets. And our girls on both ends have a lot of good experience, and they know how to run their race. And so that's what we tell the athletes: run the race to the best of your ability and run as a team.
Coach, I was wondering, on a typical day, how many miles are these kids running?
On a long run, we usually put in like 90 minutes, which for the top boys equates to like 12, 13 miles. And then for the girls, 7 or 8 miles, plus warm up, cool down, strides and stretches. So about on our long run, that's the longest one we'll do of the week, about maybe 9, 10 on average. And then
I ain't even riding a bike 9 or 10 miles, let alone running. That's woo.
Well, I'm coming off an injury, and so like I'm the sweeper, so I'm the coach at the end of the line of kids running, and I make sure that like everybody comes back safely. So I can put in about maybe 5 or 6 miles.
Okay. Yep. If I was on your staff, you'd have to give me an electric bike because I couldn't even do a pedal bike.
And every place from Coconino is uphill, so there's no downhills from Coco.
Yeah, that's even tougher. Yeah. Russell, what else you got?
Well, we ran through my questions. I'm good. For once, I wrote down 5 or 6 questions, and we were able to address every single one of them. So, good job, Coach Taylor.
Thanks. I mean, it's not just me with the program. It's all these it's the families, it's the kids, it's my assistant coaches, and just I feel really blessed to be a part of this community, and just that I get to work with these kids day in, day out.
Well, the thing of it is it goes back to you because you're building that. You're building your staff. You're putting people around you that will have the same work ethic that you have, that you trust, that will really be positive for the kids. And so what you've put around you is huge to success, and that's just a reflection of you. And so again, congratulations on all your success. And so we're going to be wishing you the best as you come through this year.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if you guys want to come watch an amazing meet, Labor Day weekend, that Saturday at Buffalo Park, I think our first race is at 8 o'clock and it goes until 11:45.
Okay. Yeah, I try to sneak up in, the various sports, and I try and peek in on some stuff just to see the different athletes and show some support. Being, a high school coach myself, try to support the other sports and whatnot. And so, but before we let you get out of here, we have a segment that we always do at the end. We don't have Coach Neil here to do his little da-da-da-da music, which is a good thing.
I heard that on one of your videos, and I was like, darn.
Yeah, his da-da-da-da. I say, man, we got to get an actual music thing, but and look, it's supposed to be my segment. I forget exactly how we call it. I think it's the Golden Nugget segment, but anyway, just what is one thing that you can leave us with that I guess what's the best advice you've given your student athletes, whether they're still in or whether they were somebody departing? What's some of the best advice that you've given your student athletes?
I think I'd have to lean on my dad's wisdom. And he would always say, every day is an easy day. No matter what it is, just getting out there and doing it and doing the best that you can do.
Absolutely. And that can apply across the board, not just in your sport. If you're, having struggles in school, you can just lean back on that and say it's an easy day. You can really push through. And then even in social status, because, here at the rec center, sometimes we'll see kids come in and we try and have dialogue and interaction, and you can just tell by the affect sometimes that something is going on. And so you say, hey, what's going on? How you doing today? And like, if they have a mantra or something like that they can lean on, I think it'll really be beneficial to help them, just grow and be able to get through some stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And, when you say every day is an easy day and they're like, but coach, it's hurting. And then they like just delve into like what's going on in their life, and you break that ice with them and you build that relationship with them. And just, I think I'm huge on building relationship with all of my athletes.
Yeah, and that's real key, is having that relationship, because once you break that barrier and they trust you, they'll run through the wall for you, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
Well, again, Coach, thank you for your time this morning. Best of luck this year. We'll be keeping up and just checking you out as you guys come into the 2A, looking to hopefully just be as dominant in 2A as you was in the, well, I say 2A is Division 2 as you were in Division 3. And so thanks again, and just look forward to your success this year.
Thanks so much for having me on.
All right. All right. Well, look like it's that time, Russell. Yeah, I don't even know what I got really to do today. You got anything big to do yourself today?
Well, as soon as we get to here, I'm going to hop in the shower, get cleaned up, and head on up there. I want to give 2 quick shout-outs. One to our guy, Tommy Hernandez. He's going to have a cornhole tournament for NAU softball out in Williams at Grand Canyon Brewery. And Grace Nez. She's going to be playing volleyball for Glendale Community College tonight. It's a collegiate debut.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be nice. With
it's gonna be nice.
And, yeah, definitely. You said Tommy, because I could barely hear you. Kind of went in and out. So Tommy has the cornhole tournament. That's tonight.
Yeah, that's right. And softball, I think, starts at 5. And if you're in the Valley and you want to watch a great kid from Flagstaff, Grace Nez is debuting tonight at Glendale Community College. That starts at 7 o'clock.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then, of course, you're coming up, like you said, for the Flagstaff Sports Foundation banquet, for the Hall of Fame banquet. And so great stuff going on this weekend. And, everybody, whatever you're doing out there, be safe. All I know is that you ain't got to go home, but
you can't stay here.
Peace.